Alright, this is for Project 2A. So I'm going to run through, go over my code and how it is being tested in both the ways. This is going to show off that I am testing it between two ways. First of which is going to be within the command window, the other of which is going to be in the log file that will be created. Let's start off with talking about our main game function. The main game function here includes every single H file that would be required to get every single command. As well, down here, there is the write command test that I have made. This returns an int, but that doesn't matter that much. All this really does is print to the command window. I just kept the same layout I used back in the log file, but it does work properly. So in this one, all this is going to do is just send whatever data I put of string-wise and numbers, letters, whatever it needs, and we'll put that to the command window. Inside of this main loop is all the code I have written that is utilizing all the stuff I have made within the other functions. We first start off with checking the game manager with a startup, which then will have a creation of 3 objects. 2 of them are saucers. One will be a dynamite I used for testing purposes, and this is not part of the final build, so don't worry about this line. This is going to get deleted. The game manager will run, utilizing the others, which I will show later, and then the game manager will shut down. Down here, we begin with testing the current window within the log file specifically. We as well then will move to testing all of the clock functionalities, which the sleep function is utilized alongside using the clock delta and the clock split, both of which clock split and clock delta are working effectively as per needed. We as well have checking on the use of the vectors. Vectors are used by determining what their current x and y values are, if they are able to be changed, and using the other functions such as get magnitude and normalizing them, ergo here and here. We then test objects, which these are some test objects that are just some blank general objects that I manipulate and have explained beforehand why certain ID values are in place. Each of the print lines as well will say what they should be, in case this video is a little confusing. Setting the new types, setting new positions by using old test vectors as before, and showing that off. Lastly, in this main game section, we also are writing to the object lists, utilizing the purposes of object lists, such as checking its count is full, is empty, and manipulating the count by inserting and removing objects, along with checking additionally at the max edge case of if the object list is full, attempting to add more values, which it will not allow, and checking is full and the insert once again. We as well have created multiple other functions that I will show here that will not be seen on the surface. All of the test purposes and functionalities that are displayed here will be given to the command window. However, the managers that utilize the log functionality, specifically the log manager and the game manager, we'll show here. Inside of this are the methods that I have created, where we possess the run functionality of the game manager. Everything that the run function will do in game manager will be printed to the log directly. Within this game manager, it will utilize all of the other game manager functions, such as checking if the game is over, being able to use the log manager's write log within it, checking a clock delta time, as well using event handlers of objects within the world manager. This frame count functionality here, since there's no way that the game can start or end directly without certain events, this game loop will only run I have made 50 times. Once that occurs, set game over is then changed to break out of the loop. This is showing off the World Manager step events that I've created, and currently there are 2. There is the explosion event, and there is also the step event. Currently, there are only 2 objects, a saucer and a dynamite. Saucers have a step event, but do not have an explosion, whereas dynamite do have an explosion, but no step event. and I will demonstrate what that will look like within the log function later. We as well, let's see if there's anything that would be good to show. We have the manager H class, which utilizes all of the rest of the other managers. The get type startup shutdown is started all work and are utilized within all other functionalities within each of the base constructors and deconstructors. The get instances all work, which is the reason why that world manager here is capable of having a defined world manager. And as well, all of the uses of startup shutdown and utilizing insert object, getting them, and updating are all used within game manager run. Specifically for the log functionality, the log function uses the same idea with this lm, as well as capable of using within the log manager.cpp. This here is how I write the log. The functionality is similar to what I have within the game class. However, instead, it will be putting the information of writing that it receives into this MPF file. And after it finishes writing at a certain point, we'll flush out and use the MPF, returning the current number. This current number is just where the printf is located within that log file. The deconstructor will fully close the file, startup will open the file, along with getting instance of the same way, shutting down, which is utilized within its manager and log manager, and set flush. Without further ado, let's run this and see what it does. As you can see, everything works perfectly well. There are no errors. And now, within my command window here, we possess all the functionality I have written, each of which shows that there are all the numbers shown for clock or microseconds, each of the numbers shown off. Each of them relatively look good. This does look very nice this time. I'm happy with these outputs. Vectors show off their functions, each of which have been changed at a certain level. You as well can see each of the test cases I've written, and that they all work within certain portions that I've written out accordingly. Each of these lines will all have their own values, which are indicated that they are being manipulated with functionalities written in the code. Within the log statement that is printed, we are going to be able to see them here inside of the project 2, and in this Dragonfly text document is where the log filer sends. We now can see that the log was success, and the game manager will start running. This frame count indicates how many game loops there are, and as I said before, there are 2 saucers and 1 dynamite, which in the game manager you can see here. There are currently 3 objects within that world manager, which is why it goes in that order of checking the saucer, checking the dynamite, and then checking the saucer again, where the saucers have the step, the dynamite does not. Once we get to about 40, or sorry, at 40 and beyond, as we can see here, that now 40 at time 40, event was not seen as step, and event was seen as explosion dynamite, and continues that, so on and so forth. This as well here was written for test purposes to check the sleep duration. However, it is still not going over the 33 limit. And once it gets to 50, which 49 being the last, since the number does start at 0, the game loop will finish, the game manager will shut down, and the log manager will fully close. And that's it. I hope that's everything, and thank you for watching.